Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. My name's Lillian. I can't really believe I'm here doing this, but I've been planning it for quite some time. I want to share my story of adversity. My story is about sexual abuse, severe childhood trauma, domestic violence, coercive control, the loss of my father at the age of 5. He was killed unlawfully by obviously another person. Now, the reason I'm sharing my story is because I want to reach out to as many people as possible that have been through similar experiences as myself. Now, I know I struggled for many years. I'm now in my 60s, mid to late 60s, and I lost my son, sadly, to suicide on March the 9th, 2020, which is still relatively raw for me. So basically I'm sharing my story in honour of him, really, because he obviously suffered from mental health due to the experiences that we both went through with his father, who was seriously violent, and he controlled every aspect of mine and my son's life. And but I'm not just here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about every part of my life, because every part of my life was quite traumatic, and I just feel so lucky that I'm still here and had the strength to survive what I did survive all those years ago. So now, in honour of my son, I want to share my story in hopes of reaching out to all those people out there that aren't coping through their own mental health, that aren't coping because of their childhood trauma, domestic violence, coercive control, becoming separated from children due to whatever circumstances they were. I've experienced it all, and I want to spend the rest of my life really helping as many people as I can by sharing my story and what I had to build on, and how I move forward in life to get to the place I am now, to this day. Even though I'm still grieving for my son, and some days I just don't know how I get through, but I've suddenly become so strong, and I've shared my story at the NSPCC's request of my whole life, and they are now placing my story on their database for the use of educational purposes, newspaper, magazines, the BBC, etc., in the hopes of, getting support and helping other people like myself. And at the end of the day, that's why I'm here, to help as many people as I possibly can. A lot of my stuff is going to be quite painful for a lot of people, because it'll probably bring up memories. But I will pre-warn everyone when I'm sharing something somewhat delicate. I'm not going to be sharing anything today, because at the end of the day it's going to take me many weeks and probably a few months to share my story, because there's so much to it, each area. Some people can go through domestic violence in their lifetime and be impacted by that. Physically and mentally, some people can go through sexual abuse and be terribly impacted by that, and I know exactly how those people felt emotionally because of all their experiences. But sadly for me, I've been through it all really. I've been through sexual abuse and domestic violence, coercive control, losing my father at age 5 unlawfully, and losing 2 of my children at such a young age. And it did impact on me in a hell of a lot of ways. And sometimes you go that far down, you really don't know how you're ever going to come up again. I mean, everything can impact on you in every possible part of your life. You feel emotionally drained, you feel lacking of so much confidence, you feel so inadequate, you feel scared of relationships, you shut yourself away. Some people have to drink to numb their senses. Some people have to gamble. Some people take drugs to numb their senses. Some people become violent. We all use something to help us cope, and no matter what it is part of a coping mechanism that we all use. And these are things I'm going to talk about and share with you. What happened to me. And I'm sure some of what happened to me, I'm sure there's many people out there that could probably apply it to a part of their life. And basically, I don't want anyone to feel alone. I don't want anyone to feel that there's no way out and there's no moving forward, because believe me, there is a way of moving forward, and there is a way of having self-belief. There is a way of feeling self-confident. It's in all of us, each and every one of us. I came from that much of a bad childhood. We were so poor. We didn't have anything. We didn't have, after my dad was killed, we didn't have hardly any money. We didn't have hardly any clothes. We very rarely had food. I very rarely went to school. I had very little in education because of not wanting to go to school, because I didn't feel normal. I just wanted to escape everything because of the sexual abuse that was going on at home. And my mum was extremely strict. I couldn't share it with her. I left school earlier than I needed, or should I say, I left school before I should have done. I couldn't read and write, and because of that reason, I felt like an illiterate. I felt like a nothing. I didn't feel like anyone. I felt useless. I felt unworthy. I felt unwanted. I felt unintelligent. I felt ugly, you name it, I felt it really. And as the years passed, I became determined, which I will explain more about that later on, because I can't explain everything today in this video, but I will be uploading every single week a different part of my life until you've heard the full story. But going back to how I felt about me, because I couldn't read or write and I didn't know anything about anything. And as I said, when I got older, I started to read books, and this is when I started to make some very, very small changes. And I started to read and teach myself to read. I started to teach myself to spell a bit better. But then I went to college to learn to read and write, and they did a test on me to find out, see if I'd got any problems like dyslexia. Well, when I did the test, it was really bloody hard. And when I got the results, it turned out I was dyslexic, and that to me really, really traumatised me. I mean, the teacher said to me, the tutor or whatever you want to call her, she said to me, why are you so upset? Because most people are really, really glad to find out there's a reason. why they can't read or write. And I said, because I thought that I would be able to turn the clock back and catch up on what I'd missed out of on in the past. And as it turned out, it wasn't that easy. You know, I'm dyslexic, and it is going to be difficult to learn. But knowing me, I wasn't prepared to give up. You know, I gave myself spelling lessons, and I didn't really stay at the school long because I was so disheartened having dyslexia. I suppose that was part of my mental health. You know, I just gave up on everything I tried I'd give up on. But in secret, excuse me, in secret, I made it my mission in life that I wanted to learn to read and write. I wanted to feel normal. I wanted to feel like, you know, the next person out there. I didn't want to feel unintelligent. I didn't want people to see how I was feeling inside about myself. So the outside had to look good, you know, including my mind. I had to come across intelligent. I had to dress smart. I had to keep my hair nice, and I felt ugly anyway, so I tried to cover up with makeup, etc. And this was basically all about how I was feeling about myself. And you know, a lot of you out there can probably relate to it. And it's taken me many years after, you know, reading a lot, reading continuously, and teaching myself to spell, and learning so much about myself. And you know, moving forward in life, I've learned so much about myself. I mean, I can read, I can write, I can do so many things. I don't feel really ugly anymore. I might be old, but I don't really feel ugly anymore. I just feel okay, just okay. And, you know, it was about me. It was about my lack of confidence. It was about my self-worth. You know, it was about all the trauma that I went through as a child. You know, it is hard. It really is hard to move forward when you've been through that sort of past. You know, it can knock every single sense of you so flat that you just don't know how to get up and move forward. And this is something I want to share with everyone. You know, I don't want everybody to feel as I did, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that still feel like that, or are trying to find a way out. And I want to share that with you. I know how it feels. I know how it feels to feel the odd person out at school, and, you know, the odd person out in a crowd. I don't want anybody to experience that feeling anymore. I want to reach out and help as many people as I can. And I want to share my story with everyone that's experienced the same experience as me. And, you know, I know it's not easy. I know that, you know, why we use drink and drugs and binge eating and stealing, if you like. I suppose some people steal for whatever reason. Sleeping or whatever it might be. There's a whole list of, you know, things that we do to distract ourselves. And cleaning, OCD, that was a biggie for me. OCD was my main problem. And I want to share all those experiences with everyone. You know, I don't want you to feel alone. I will be later on sharing also, I will be signposting organisations to get help. And it doesn't matter what your problem is, what you have used to cope. There's always help out there for whatever problem you've got. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of, really. I have gone for help in many areas of my life, and I'm quite proud of myself, who I am today. And I want to share that with all you people out there that have been through, as I say, the same experiences as me, and to help you moving forward. I've got so much I want to share with you, you know, even things to do around the house, you know, whether it be baking, whether it be painting, whether it be decorating, whether it be painting. I've got beautiful furniture that has been really, really old and tatty and fit for throwing out, and I've repaired it, painted it, and now it looks like something I've brought from Laura Ashley. Well, you can do that too, if that's your thing. So yes, I'll be sharing all that with you, but that's not going to be till much later, because I'm going to start at the very beginning, from age 5, from when my father was taken from me, 1958. So if you want to hear more and you want to talk to me and you want to share your story or get advice or give me advice or give me some tips, whatever, let's get together on this. Please like, subscribe, ring that bell so that you can get alerts from all my next videos coming up to share my story. Thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate that. You take care. Bye bye for now.